I hate how I am. I have an appointment at 4 p.m. so I can't do anything all day type of person. First 2 drinks don't count if you have anxiety. They just turn you into a normal person. When you search something on Google and it shows a helpline number instead of the results. In case you were wondering, me and my husband can see you half naked smoking from that bong through your front window across the street. Do I look cool? When your advertising interrupts my video, it just makes me hate your product. When anyone asks my favorite weather, I crave this. 10-year-old me preparing to tell my mom at 9 p.m. I need glue for my project tomorrow. There should be an option that's more than sleeping but not as much as being dead. Have you ever sit for so long that your butt feels like this? When you didn't expect to reach 18 but 30 is around the corner. I'm not supposed to exist that long. This is getting weird. When your alarm goes off and you have to go to work because you didn't die in your sleep. Me at my funeral about to correct someone who said that I was a happy person who loved life. Me suddenly has tears running down cheeks. People, are you okay? Me. Yeah, this just happens sometimes, lol. Once I became a parent, I finally understood the scene where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just dies. When you go to see a movie and just before it starts, a group of loud teenagers walk in. 95% of our generation will allow genitals in their mouth, but refuse to eat this part of the banana. My parents, when do you get a girlfriend? We want a grandchild. Me who thought about suicide literally 10 seconds before. I went from losing no one my whole life to almost 10 people within a year. I don't know how much more I can take. Real ones stay, and the fake ones leave. Only thing you gotta remember, they are fucking dead dumbass. Me, working up the courage to tell my calorie counting app that I ate an entire birthday cake. Do you want to work overtime? First of all, I don't even want to work regular time. I only express my emotions in English because when I speak about them in my native language, it feels too personal. I saw Millie Bobby Brown in the airport and asked for a pic, and she said only if you remove the hijab, and I said it is my faith, and she aggressively pulled it off my head and stamped on it. You do not even have a hijab on in your PFP? Because she ripped it off me. Students, I will never use Pythagoras' theorem in real life. Also, students walking home, shaking it above the toilet. When I put it back in my pants, I am afraid of getting better because the emptiness is all I can imagine. People love to ask some shit like, would you press a button that gives you $1 million, but it kills one random person? Like buddy people, push that button every day to get 2-day shipping. You think they would not do it for cash. The right person will come one day. The right person. My teacher nailed his student's phone to the wall for using it in class 20 years ago. It is still there till this day. Clubbing has to be the most overrated adulthood activity ever. You are just wasting money on alcohol and unnecessary noise while pretending to have fun. Me having a meeting with myself to get my life together. Now that I have gotten older, I have come to realize why Bigfoot stays away from people. My sister's foreign exchange student. In France, we hear that when Americans are depressed, they eat whole containers of ice cream. Why was there always a bite taken out of these motherfuckers? When you tell your mom a funny story and it turns into a lecture, I just wanted to make you laugh. When life is sucking you into a pit of despair and stress, but you really just ain't fighting it anymore. The haters said I couldn't do it. And they were correct. Honestly, great call from the haters. When you finally found a walking green flag, but you are the red flag now. When you are hanging out with friends and your social battery dies. Every time an actor does an interview about how they gained weight for a role, they are like, honestly, I just ate absolute nasty, disgusting garbage for a month straight. And then they go on to describe my normal diet that I have been eating for 31 years. Once I became a parent, I finally understood the scene where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just dies. When you're done with everybody's shit. When you go to see a movie, and just before it starts, a group of loud teenagers walk in. I just want to be someone's favorite person. Me overthinking. Me realizing I'm overthinking. Me thinking about overthinking. Me overthinking. When you tell your mom a funny story and it turns into a lecture. Me holding the most important US document that was literally printed on gas station toilet paper that can't be laminated or protected in any way and is supposed to last my whole life. Hey, hi, you got a nice smile. Huh, thanks. 10 years later, she made my day that day. Who's using TeamSpeak right now? Hello? Anyone? Damn. Me, an introvert remembering a funny joke I said 2 years ago that made everyone laugh. Men only want one thing and it's disgusting. Every documentary about serial killers. He was alone, he had no friends, he had no lover. He spent all his time alone at home. Me, dudes will destroy their lives over a girl who looks like this. My parents. When do you get a girlfriend? We want a grandchild. Me who thought about suicide literally 10 seconds before. Me. Digital copies of games should be cheaper since they don't need to manufacture the discs. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Me. Damaged but adorable. My teacher nailed his student's phone to the wall for using it in class 20 years ago. It's still there till this day. People that back into parking spots. We're better than you and we know it. Everyone. Exercise will help your depression. Me. But can you guess why I find it hard to exercise? I'm sorry, but I am not a survivalist. The second we start fighting over fresh water, I'm killing myself. Y'all have fun though. Did y'all grow up terrified to share your most basic interests, hobbies and tastes with family friends out of fear of getting ridiculed and mocked? Or are you normal? Me writing a joke in my suicide note. Are you always going to be my customer service guy? I would like to be, but no, we have thousands and it is random. But in spirit, I will be. Not to be a drooling socialist cuck, but if a full day's labor can't purchase 3 square meals, 24 hours worth of rent and utilities, a fraction of a month's clothing budget, and a reasonable portion to be saved for when you can no longer comfortably work, what the fuck are we doing shit for? Fondly remembering the time 2 of my transphobic colleagues wouldn't eat my baking, so I made progressively more delicious and elaborate cakes and watched them die inside from their own bigotry. When life is sucking you into a pit of despair and stress, but you really just ain't fighting it anymore. When you finally found a walking green flag, but you are the red flag now. When you're hanging out with friends and your social battery dies, I'll never waste my money on dumb stuff ever again. 2 hours later. At first, I was like, life is meaningless. But now, I'm like, life is meaningless. Fairs. Dad, Mom said stew for dinner, wouldn't bother coming home if I were you. Person. Hi, how are you? Me. Great. Person. Aren't you gonna ask how I am? Me. Oh, I don't care. Me. People I should absolutely not be attracted to. When everything is going wrong in your life, but you're used to it. Today I realized that these guys are actually regular dudes who just feel better if they cosplay as bikers. Me. Yes, I am still young. My spine. I said we old today. What substance do I have to abuse to feel like life is worth living again? Her. Who you fucking? Me. I'm fucking tired. That's who. Eyelashes are supposed to prevent things from going into your eyes, but whenever I have something in my eye, it's always an eyelash. Ironic.